the first thing is like trying to figure out, are there competitors in your space that are making any of these platforms work on, at a different level? That is typically like the earliest indication of the chance that you have to be successful. And like, it's the difference between like, okay, I've got this product and I can't see any Facebook ads selling it. That's going to be potentially more of a warning sign rather than a sign of opportunity. And so it's like figuring out with the product that you have, is there actual legs behind it? And I think,
how many people are like, well, I want to be in a blue ocean. And it's like, that can be fine in a blue ocean, but your risk is also exponential.
yeah,
And it could take a lot of money to actually start making a profit in a blue ocean. Whereas, all right, if you can go to a proven like kind of industry or model where there's already some success stories and competition, but just make it better. Right. I'm a much bigger fan of that. And you can have far greater success more quickly with that approach. So there's pros and cons to both. But Joe, one thing that did happen with the whole Cambridge Analytica like fallout with Meta was like they then had to start allowing people to see like, hey, what are all of the ads that this page is showing, right? And running. Yep. So that has been one of my favorite things. Is to go look at whatever, like go find your competitors, go find what's working, or even like some people that sell similar types of products, right? Doesn't have to be the exact same one, but similar brands, similar industries, etc. Go to their Facebook account, click on their ads, and it will show you every single ad that they're running. And then you watch their ads, you study their ads, you click their ads, and you follow the path that those ads are running to, and you see where they're trying to send that traffic, and then you reverse engineer the funnel. So I think that like, that's it. Like that is honestly where you begin, because as you mentioned, if you don't see, you're like, there ain't one competitor I can actually find. There's nothing in like a similar category. Like that's a big warning sign that you may be in like just a commoditized product that it's very niche. People just find it on Amazon. You're probably not going to build that up off of Amazon. And especially on the pricing side, I think you hit the nail on the head there too. Like you got to be able to afford. I think what I've seen is like $60 cost per acquisition on the lower side, right? Like maybe as low as $50, but like at least $60. So if you don't have a product, you're paying $60 just to acquire that customer. So that means your product plus the cost of goods plus the fulfillment has to be far greater than that $60 acquisition cost. Unless you're doing a subscription model, which we can dive into here, but lots of weeds we can unpack there. But Joe, let's talk about this though. I think going back to studying the competition, walk me through how you would do that and how you kind of would reverse engineer somebody's funnel to say, hey, what if I do find, wow, there's hundreds of competitors here. What would you do at that point?
You know what? I absolutely love what you said about how you kind of like just take what Meta gives you in terms of the fact that they have to be showing, like brands have to show the ads that they're promoting. And the interesting takeaway from this, which I think is going to be really, really valuable to all of your listeners, and this is another shift in mindset as well between Amazon and Shopify, is that when you go and look at your competitors and you go through the funnel, one of the first things that you'll start to notice that any good brand that's got good scale behind it, their product is based around a customer persona. Like their whole brand is based around a customer persona. On Amazon, it's completely different. The product is based around the product and the unique features of that product, and it's all about the product. Well, if you look at a Shopify brand, it's based around a type of customer, and the product is there to serve that type of customer. And so like the best brands in the world own a specific customer, and then they create products in order to service that particular customer. The thing with Shopify is like you own the emails, right? On Amazon, you don't own any of the emails of the people that buy from your store. So on Shopify, you do, which means that you can do things like post-purchase surveys. You can ask your customers who they are. You can ask your customers the pain points that they have, the desired outcomes that they have. And the best brands in the world have such a clear understanding of their target demographic and their target ICP, which is called, ideal customer persona, that they base their entire brand and their business around that specific person. And when they're coming up with new product ideas in order of stuff to sell, they're figuring out, okay, what product can I create which is going to solve this person's problem even better than the first product that I sell? And then it's just a process of creating more products that serve the customer over and over and over again. Now, the knock-on effect of that is, you sell your customer with your first product, you then sell them something else. So your lifetime value of your customer goes up. So the amount of money that your customer spends with you goes up. And your average order value goes up because you can bundle your products together to solve an even bigger problem for a customer. And so it's like, that's a really interesting mindset shift, as well as like, you have to get really granular with understanding like who your customer is and how you can serve them better and how exactly your product does that job as well. You asked about kind of like research. I mean, research is probably like the most important aspect of Shopify, honestly. Shopify, the skill in that is figuring out, researching the market and trying to find a set of people that have a problem that hasn't been addressed yet by anyone. And like, if it's a proven product that people are selling, whether it's a supplement, whether it's like a piece of gym workout equipment, there's lots of different types of customers that you can target with those different products. But it's figuring out, okay, like, what problem does your particular product solve as best as possible in the marketplace, and then really building a brand around that. So when we do our research, regardless of whether this is a new brand or a brand that we're looking to scale up even further, we're trying to figure out, okay, what are the real deep problems and what are the real deep desired outcomes that these customers want to have, and how can we position our product as the thing that's going to be able to solve that problem for them as much as possible. So on a technical perspective, we go into the Facebook ad library. We can obviously see all the different ads that our competitors are running. We use a tool called foreplay.com. So terrible name, great tool. And basically what that does is it allows you to create a bank of all competitors' ads. So you can type in keywords, whether it's like menopause, whether it's like a specific product, supplement, all that kind of stuff. You can start to build a picture and an understanding of like how brands are utilizing their product to market and reach out to customers that need serving as much as possible. So yeah, that's the process there.
I love that, Joe. I think that is so critical to like understand like who is your customer and what is their pain point, because then it turns into the next step, which is going to be like, now it's about creating a story and creating ads that talk about that pain point and how your product is going to solve that issue, right? And here's the biggest thing that I want to talk about, and this is really what I'm interested to get your perspective on here, Joe, which is it's not just about it's not about creating a $10,000 ad and saying, oh, this is going to be my one ad that runs for the next decade. Like, here's what I know on Meta, and Joe, you tell me if I'm wrong. What we know on Meta is your ad creative starts to get tired in about a week or two. Like, so that means if your ad creative, like your winning ad, is going to start performing worse and worse after a couple weeks. So if now there's different things you could edit the video, flip some hooks and things like that. So it's not like it's complete trash, but it's the game on Shopify from Meta ads is all about the volume of ads that you are producing and testing every single day. So something Alex Hormozy talks about, right, is he talks about like the volume game when he was growing like gym launch and it was gyms. And he talked about like putting flyers on people's doors or cars or whatever, right? And he was like, hey, I put it out to, I think it was like 300 or 500 cars. He delivered that many flyers. And then he's like, but I didn't get a single call. And his like mentor at the time or whatever that he was learning this tactic from, like, laughed at him and was like, try 5,000, right? And so then he was like, oh, this is a scale issue. This is a quantity issue. And it was the same thing even when he wanted to increase his following and his audience, right? He said he paid somebody over 6 figures to ask them one question: how have you grown your following to millions of followers? And then they asked him like, well, how many pieces of content are you putting out a day? And he's like, I don't know, maybe 1, 2, 3. Right. And he felt good about that. And he was like, try 200. And then he was like, that's all I need. Like he paid 6 figures for that answer to say, oh, we're talking like hundreds of pieces of content a day. I get it. So I want everybody listening to this to understand like, and that's exactly what it's going to take to succeed on Meta. Like it is a quantity of massive volume of creating ads, testing those ads. So it's a very different skill set than what it is that's working on Amazon. Joe, correct me if I'm wrong. Tell me your perspective. I mean, you guys do this day in and day out. Is that what you guys are doing?
Yeah. I mean, to give you the figures, we created 2,000 ads in the last 30 days. So, I mean, obviously we're managing spends upwards of $1 million plus. So yes, like that's one caveat to that. But I really boil this down into kind of like 3 main components. So the reason that your ads will work or don't work is in terms of leverage is in this order, right? So number 1 at the top, you've got quantity. Like that's just the easiest, highest leverage thing that any brand owner can do right now in order to be able to get results on Shopify, quantity. The second one is quality. So it's like when you have volume, then you can start to learn and then you can start to actually understand what ads and what posts are actually working and starting to resonate, which means that you as a marketer and as a business owner can actually learn from that data in order to produce better ads. And then the third piece is diversity. So it's in that order. So do quantity first, focus on that. When you've got your quantity, then you can start to focus on quality because you can start to get an understanding of what ads are working and why. And you can build a hypothesis as to why you should produce the next ad. And then after you've done that, it's basically diversity. So the way that Meta works, right? And this is really a fundamental rule of marketing, and it's getting more and more apparent as we continue to grow and as Meta gets more sophisticated. Marketing is getting more and more nuanced, right? So as more people come onto the platform, more people spend more money on ads, there's more competition. And so what that means is that our ads have to get really, really precise at speaking to very individual people. So we've obviously got your ideal customer persona at the top, but you might have 20, 30 different ways that you could talk to that specific ICP. And you've got different hooks and different angles and methodologies that you can use to talk to that same person, but through lots of different matrices and through different lenses. And so it's like, if you start in that order, you as a marketer and your business will learn quickly about what ads to produce more of, what ads to produce less of, and how you can get a better understanding of getting really granular with the people that you're speaking to and the angles and hooks that are working in order to produce more of the quality stuff at a higher level of scale. So I really think that that's like the core main 3 principles. So like, yeah, you're absolutely right. I want everyone to know as well that if you want to make this successful, your highest leverage thing to do right now is figure out a way that you can acquire as much content as you possibly can. Because as soon as you start to throw those ads on Meta, and Meta's like an ad hungry beast as well, right? Like you said, those ads fatigue really, really quickly. It wants more content. It wants more fresh content. And as soon as you can start to build an infrastructure of creating ads that have good scale behind them, the faster you can learn, and then the faster you can start to put better quality in, and then ultimately start to scale your ad spend up. Now, we'll get into this, and I'm sure you've got another question before I go into it, but I've got a bit of a list of like the best ads ever that we've tried, so we can get into that. But I wanted to hear your thoughts first.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love your 3 steps of like quantity, quality, then diversification. I do think that's important, right? The quantity is important because like you have no idea what's going to work yet. So do 1,000 pieces of content, right? Then take a step back, be like, oh, I'm starting to see some trends. Double down on that. Do another 1,000 that are in that kind of like same angle. See if those continue to work, then continue to diversify. You should always be testing different angles, different hooks. So I think you hit the nail on the head there.